Imagine that you receive a message saying, "Can you test our server tonight? Try anything necessary." At first, this may sound like permission. In professional security, however, a vague message is not enough. Before any scan, login attempt, or exploit, the tester must know who authorized the mission, which systems are included, which actions are allowed, and when the test must stop. This lesson introduces the foundation of ethical penetration testing. A penetration test is a planned, authorized, and structured security assessment. Its purpose is to identify weaknesses, demonstrate realistic risk, and provide evidence that helps an organization improve its defenses. The same technical action, such as a port scan, a password test, or an exploit, can be legitimate or unauthorized depending on the context. An ethical test therefore requires more than technical skill. It requires a valid purpose, explicit permission, clear boundaries, controlled methods, and responsible reporting. Authorization must come from a person who has authority over the systems being tested. It should be written and verifiable. A professional authorization normally identifies the client, the testing team, the purpose of the mission, the dates, and the systems concerned. Verbal permission is risky because it can be misunderstood or denied later. An employee may also request a test without having authority over a supplier-managed server. If the authorization is incomplete, contradictory, or given by the wrong person, the correct action is to stop and clarify before testing. The scope defines the boundaries of the mission. In-scope elements can include specific IP addresses, domains, applications, accounts, or network segments. Out-of-scope elements are explicitly excluded. The scope must also identify permitted techniques and prohibited actions. For example, a web application may be in scope, while its external payment gateway is excluded. Test accounts may be permitted, while phishing, denial of service testing, or password spraying may be forbidden. A system can be technically reachable and still be legally outside the mission. The tester must follow the written boundary, not curiosity or technical opportunity. Rules of engagement explain how the test will be conducted. They translate permission into practical instructions. They should define the testing schedule, communication channels, emergency contacts, rate limits, data handling requirements, evidence protection, and reporting process. Most importantly, they should define stop conditions. Testing may need to stop if a service becomes unstable, sensitive personal data is unexpectedly exposed, a third-party system is reached, or the client requests an immediate pause. Clear rules of engagement protect the organization, the users, and the tester. Consider this scenario. A university asks you to assess its training portal at IP address 10.10.10.25 between 6 and 10 in the evening. Written permission allows reconnaissance, service enumeration, and web vulnerability testing with test accounts. It prohibits phishing, denial of service, password spraying, and testing any other IP address. During reconnaissance, the portal redirects you to 10.10.10.30, and one test account unexpectedly displays real student records, testing 10.10.10.25 during the approved window with the permitted techniques is authorized. Using a prohibited technique or testing another IP is forbidden. The redirect and the exposure of real records are unclear and potentially unsafe. The professional response is to stop that line of testing, preserve minimal evidence, and contact the client. Professional responsibility continues throughout the mission. The tester should minimize operational impact, collect only the evidence needed, protect sensitive data, maintain accurate notes, and report findings without exaggeration. If an interesting system or vulnerability appears outside the approved scope, the tester documents the observation and asks for permission. The tester does not continue simply because access is possible. Ethical practice is defined not only by what a tester can do, but also by what the tester deliberately refuses to do without authorization. Before beginning any security test, ask 5 questions. Do I have written authorization? Who gave that authorization? And do they have the required authority? What exactly is in scope and out of scope? Which techniques are allowed or prohibited? Finally, when must I stop? And whom should I contact if something unexpected happens? If any answer is missing, do not test. Clarify first. This simple check prevents technical work from crossing legal, ethical, or operational boundaries. The key message is simple. An ethical penetration test combines valid permission, a precise scope, clear rules of engagement, and professional responsibility. Technical skill becomes legitimate security work only when it operates inside these boundaries.